Thomas. Thomas.
Hey Matt, how you doing?
I'm good. You?
Good. Hey Scott.
How you doing, Thomas?
Good.
Thanks for your help.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate it. Matt's been helping me get this far. I couldn't have done it without him. It's been, I'll tell you, it's nothing short of a monumental task getting all this shit together.
Oh, that's for sure, man.
But I'm getting close. So, and I'll tell you what, I love it. I absolutely feel like a kid in a candy store.
Yeah, well, it's a fun thing, man. You're hitting it. It's now you see why I've been doing it for so long.
I do, and I feel like you a little bit. I'm like running ahead of Laura, and running behind, and getting exercise, and
Well, I tell you, that's one of the things I love about photography the most is the exercise, because you get, you end up clocking so many miles, and you're doing it in such a way that you're focused on the photography. It's kind of like in the same way, like when I'll look at Facebook or something when I'm walking instead of, focusing on the walking. It kind of takes your head out of the exercise part of it, but you're burning calories.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, and I don't mind the heavy lens a little bit. I guess the next step is I'm going to have to grab another lens or two to swap out. I'm not ready for that yet, but what was a game changer to me was the telephoto, though, to be able to crop in the lens. And I hate my iPhone now. You remember all the arguments I had with you? Why not just fucking use your iPhone?
Yeah. Well, you have so much more control over the image. An iPhone is just, not that I take a lot of iPhone photos too, but, you just don't have that level of control.
No.
And you can't be near as fast. You can't get things like right where you want them. And so, I don't think there's any comparison.
No, there really isn't.
My argument, when a lot of people told me, and the same thing with even like going down to smaller systems like the Sony system or the mirrorless cameras and stuff. What I tell people is I don't mind the bigger camera, because for me, back to sort of the exercise thing, I like the weight. It's not a detriment to me. A lot of people say, oh, well, it's too heavy, I want something smaller, and I get that if you're somehow physically impaired, but for me, I'm carrying that big bag full of lenses, and I don't mind. I don't mind the bigger lenses.
Speaking of which, you look fucking awesome, dude. You lost your 4 chins.
Dude, I feel so much better. I feel, there we go.
Oh my God, Jesus.
I've been doing my 50s. So I think I say that on Facebook. So I've been doing my 50s, and I've been walking a lot. This morning I walked probably 6 miles with the dogs, and got a good workout in. So it feels good.
Well, I don't want to take up both of your Saturdays entirely. So wait, I think I got you. I've dialed I got you twice on here, it seems. But here, let me share my screen.
Twice?
Yeah, 415-520. Maybe it doesn't matter, but it looks like it's in the conversation, but it doesn't matter. Okay, you can see my screen now?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Yeah, Matt's actually, I see your daughter. Hi. Matt's actually can control my screen too, so... Matt, here, show me where we're at here. I confused where we left off, Matt. We're done with that import?
We're importing your card right now.
Okay, so we can... Go ahead, try for a sec.
So this is all that's coming in on the card. All right. And then we can get started going through your current photos that you have in your catalog, or we can go off of these.
Yeah, let me show Thomas kind of where we're at now, and then let me ask him what he thinks the best use of his limited time is. So basically, we took a catalog of 2,000 images and 5,000 videos and brought it into rejected images or accepted images of we're at 13,000. And
you're just flagging those?
Yeah, just accept or reject, or just really reject. And then Matt has, for me, gone through anything that I didn't reject, and he's star rated them. So, and it's on his basis without regard to, the personal memories of it all. My end goal here is twofold primarily, is to create an epic set of images throughout all my TVs in my house. So, of memories and poodles and high res, of fabulous images that are going to be floating around throughout the house as art that you and I have discussed on many occasions. That's number one. Number two, and it's related, is to start sharing these great images, which I'm already starting to see, really great responses on Facebook, whether they be awesome images or good memories, whether it be, Laura and me here looking, much younger and less attractive, or primarily I'm hoping that it can primarily be, great epic pictures of the poodles, because that's going to be my point of view. And if you can see what I've done, you're liking everything I do. I love that almost as is. That's just a random shot of Susie running towards me.
Right. I don't know. There's cool stuff you can do with that, though, even better.
I don't know if people or I'm going to get bored of, I don't know if it matters. I don't think I can never get bored of, super high def, cool edited pictures of poodles. So,
right. I kind of think ultimately there's two things. I mean, there is an audience out there, but what you're doing for you and your own artistic vision. And
that's right.
So if it's poodles, it's poodles. And it's not going to be all poodles. I just saw a flower there. But if it's primarily poodles, there are photographers that specialize in everything. And I think that's great. I mean, you love poodles, and you have poodles with you all the time. And they're also, in addition to being art, they also are, like you say, great memories.
Yeah, like look at this picture. I mean,
that's perfect.
And I have a really, I believe I have a really good sense of symmetry and balance, and and I think that's really what a lot of this is how can you take forms and put them in a snap the right picture when they're all shaped the right way, and that's why I have a lot of respect for your ability to line things up, because that is hard. I guess one of my questions is, Matt said that a lot of my images were looking blurry, and I haven't looked yet to determine. I sense that I've been holding the camera up as if it were my iPhone and just snapping it and moving the camera and not treating it like almost a rifle. Like I've got to stand still when I and commit to a shot.
It's also hit the letter I on your keyboard right now. So also this is at 102/50th of a second is pretty fast. But sometimes if you're not composed, if you're not stationary or whatnot, and you're shooting below that, like if this was a 1 and 1/25th, or if you have some that are like 1/80th or 1/60th or whatever, those slower shutter speeds will cause that blur. So, you can fix that by just making sure that you're shooting at least, 1/250th or 200th of a second or faster.
Yeah, I think my next step in this program is to ensure that I understand, I have a rudimentary sense of aperture and ISO and stuff, but I haven't really played with it. And Matt is going to spend some time with me giving me those sort of extended lessons. So, so what's the best use of your unique expertise? I don't want to bore you with how to organize my photos, although I think that's fundamentally critically important. And I
guess a couple of things. I can show you, and maybe I just walk through doing some of my own processing.
Okay.
And you see some of the sliders that I'm using and why I'm using it, and because again, I believe that half of the image is in the processing. And so what the final output, as good as a picture can be, compositionally balanced, all of that, I think it's in the processing is at least half the image, maybe more. And I can show you what I do in Lightroom and how I process some images, and that might give you some ideas on things that you can do. Because all of these images, as great as they are, you can make them greater by processing them.
I'm in. And here you can see Laura. This is my problem with Laura. And I think I figured out how to shoot Laura, if I get her cooperation. And that's one of the reasons why I want a really far lens so that she doesn't know when I'm shooting her.
Yeah, that's the thing. The best thing with Laura, I would say, is if you could get her cooperation. But I know that's not always easy. And, she doesn't like to be the focus of attention.
Yeah, and it's that, and she doesn't trust that, with all the various photo shoots I've done over the years with lousy photographers, that we're going to. She's not very photogenic, so it does. Oddly enough, I mean, you like that sign?
Yeah.
That's the money bag sign.
Yeah.
Not a great composed image, but I like the sign though. All right, so here, what you want to share your screen? Is that what you think?
Why don't I share my screen? Let's see here.
You go to the plus symbol at the bottom, and then you share screen.
Screen. Okay, got it. Okay, so you see mine now, yeah?
I'm turning on my water feature, which is noisy. Hold on 1 second. I'll do it. Matt, can you control my screen and get there?
Yeah, sure. How you been, Thomas?
Good. How about you?
I've been really well. I'm actually going to be in California a couple weeks. I don't know if you're around or not. But
yeah, where are you going? Where are you going to be?
I'll be flying to San Jose, heading up to Monterey, and then driving up to Sacramento. So I'll be going right through your area.
So we'll have to see what's going on. When are you coming?
It'll be the 17th, 18th, and 19th. Probably be driving through on the 18th.
Yeah, I may be around. We'll have to see what we got going on.
It'll be a fun day.
So.
Just hit that big button here, and there we go.
So you see my screen, Scott?
Yep, full.
Okay, so here's here's. Remember we went to Pier 24?
Yeah. Is that when we were there?
Yeah. So no, this isn't from when we were there. This is the current show that they have there now. But I'll walk through kind of what I'm doing. I was just working on this image, but let me go back. So I've got all of these images, and I'm going to go through the editing more than the organizing and flagging and whatnot.
Okay.
So this is just an image of some photographs in a hall, and you can see that it's not balanced. It's slightly askew. You see this body over here on the right and whatnot. So the first thing I'm going to do with an image like this is I'm going to crop it. And from what I can tell, the image here, I'm going to try to center it.
Now, do you try and restrain it to the normal size, like whatever that 16 by 9 size is?
Yeah, I do. I try to do that a lot, unless that crop just will not work. So I usually try to constrain it. So you can do that with this little button over here where you lock it or unlock it.
Yep.
And so, or you can just push the A key.
Now, are these the Lightroom edits that's built into Lightroom? I haven't seen those yet in my. We haven't gotten to that level, with Matt yet. So,
when you say Lightroom edits, what do you mean?
Are you in Light? Is this an add-on or is this the mix?
Yeah. No, so see at the top here where Lightroom says Library and it says Develop. Now I'm in the Develop module.
All right,
so this is where you actually manipulate an individual image.
Okay.
Is in the Develop module. So I'm going to bring this down a little bit. I don't want this exit sign in the image.
Right.
I'm going to crop it down. I'm going to really sort of get it more focused on the picture. I'm going to rotate it a little bit and straighten it. So
how did you get that grid? How'd you get that grid on there?
You just you click off the image and just hold the mouse down.
Okay.
And then it gives you that grid. So then you can use those lines.
Yeah.
So this is about with the crop that I want. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to crop it. And I still may fine-tune crop it later. But the first thing I do then is I work with the exposure and the light. So the first slider I use is just a basic exposure slide, right? So it goes from way overexposed, way underexposed. So you can see the difference there. And so I find, kind of what looks good to me is probably something right about there.
Now, do you have a point of view? Do you have I mentioned I like structure and detail, and so you every photograph speaks to you differently.
Yeah. Although we'll talk about structure and detail because that is part of this workflow.
Okay.
Because that certainly is a part of it in noise reduction. There's a lot more than just this, but exposure is just at the top of the list. It's generally where I start. I'll look at contrast here, so you can see it again from way contrasty to way under contrast, and I'll just kind of figure out about where I want the slider, which is right about there. Typically, I tend to pull the highlights down quite a bit. So now you're dealing with various types of light, right? This is just basic exposure and contrast, but now you have your highlights, you have your shadows. So the highlights are blown out here, the highlights are underexposed here. And so I'll kind of get it. Typically I bring my highlights down, and typically I bring my shadows up a little bit. So you see shadows here now.
Do you look at do you study the histogram at all, or do you
Not at all.
All right, it does what it does. See, someone confused me years ago, and they had me sort of hyper-focus on what the histogram looks like. And
right. So they'll say, oh, well, you don't want to blow things out on the histogram. I'm just concerned with what it looks like.
Okay, I appreciate that.
So here's the shadows. So I'll find the shadows kind of where I like. Then I might go back and increase my contrast again and drop my broader exposure. You've got your whites. Where do things look like there? You've got your blacks. What tends to look the best there. And now this is where you get a lot of detail, as clarity. So sometimes you want a lot of really sort of gritty detail like that. You can see how much detail you get there versus that's like completely soft.
Yeah.
Other times you want soft. A lot of times on people, I tend to soften things, particularly women, because it softens their skin, it softens their curves. It looks better on people.
That's good to know for Laura, especially.
Yeah, so a lot of photos I take in Julia, in fact, almost all of them I bring the clarity down and soften things.
Okay.
But here, I don't want, in fact, I think I like softer more than this sort of grittiness here. I think I like it just like that, which is just a little softer. Then you have your vibrance, your color, so a lot more.
Is that saturation? Is that the same thing? Vibrance is saturation, or?
No, they're different.
Oh no, there's saturation below it.
They're very different, and I typically will boost vibrance and sometimes even underweight saturation. So I like vibrance more than saturation. Increasing the vibrance. So saturation is down 28, vibrance is up 72 here. Also, of course, if you want to do a black and white, you could also take this as one way to do it. You could just take it out there. Okay, but I kind of like things right about here. We'll get to one with these colors, but I'm not going to really do much on that here. Then typically this image I'll want to sharpen it a little bit. But when I sharpen it, it's going to give me some noise. So I'm using the sharpening slider. If we look like closely up here, like up at this picture, you see how there's kind of noise there? Can you see that over the line?
Yeah.
It's kind of grainy.
Yeah.
So what I'll do here is I might use some of this luminance noise reduction.
Where's that? Okay. Wow.
But see how the grain sort of goes away a little bit there?
Yeah, big time.
Okay, so, and it just depends on whether you're looking for something grainy or something not grainy. Sometimes if you overdo it, it looks almost too fake or too plastic.
Which sometimes I might want to go for. I've liked that in Instagram at times, and just own the artificialness of it all. I guess.
Right, exactly. So for me, for up here too, like before I did the noise reduction, there was especially a lot of noise up here by around these lights, and so I didn't like that. So by adding the noise reduction, I really kind of clean that up a little bit. And so now, and you can also, sometimes there's color noise reduction. I didn't do it in this picture, but like, let's say you have something with the sky in it, and you want to like get your sky even much bluer than it normally is. You can use the selective color up here to bring this blue slider up. and it will only increase the saturation of the blues. I'll show you an example of that too. But sometimes that creates artifacting with the color, and so you can use color noise reduction, which will reduce that kind of artifacting. So then finally, I might do a little bit of vignette. So I've got dropping a little. I kind of like that sort of.
Yeah,
dark,
I like vignette. Yeah.
right. And so this to me, it's pretty close. One thing I kind of don't like is I don't like this line and this little plate that's in the ground over here
Okay.
on this side. So I'm going to go to this circle tool, and I'm going to go down to that plate, and this is a cloning tool. So I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to get another piece. I'm going to raise the circle over another piece of cement, and you can see now it's gone.
Yeah.
And now, in fact, what I'm probably going to do, I'm probably just going to take this whole line out
Oh yeah.
and just run all over this line, all the way to the top. And then it's going to take a piece of concrete next to it, and it's basically going to zero it out.
Cool.
I mean, sometimes I'll move this around to find what blends in the best. But the concrete's already kind of disoriented and rough, although I'm a little bit worried with these reflections on the floor now that I'm thinking about that. I may want to try to be a little bit more careful with how I reposition this, or I might not even want to do it. But I think I do. I think right there is where I want to go. But can I have another line up here? So I'm going to zoom in. 4 to 1. Got another line here. So I think what I want to do. I want to try to match this line.
Are you still here, Matt?
What's that?
Oh yeah, I didn't know if you were. I don't see you in the image, so I didn't know you were there.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm writing up the lens suggestion for you.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna look at my levels here again. I'm gonna just straighten things a little bit more. And so this looks pretty good to me.
Do you find the ceiling distracting with all the stuff going on up there? If you wanted to just
I don't. I like that, but I could easily get rid of that.
By cropping or
Either way. So one thing you could do this little adjustment brush up here, right?
Okay.
Here, and now I can just run that across this section, and I can bring just the exposure down. Although I'm getting too much noise there when I do that, so sometimes I'll use this other tool instead, which doesn't give me as much noise. This little line drawing, right? So I can put that over that like that, and then I can bring the exposure down up there if I wanted it darker. You know, I could do something like that.
Oh yeah.
So, but I think, in my case, I actually like that detail. I think it gives it kind of a warehouse feel.
No, it's interesting. Yeah.
But everybody's different, so whatever you do with it, it's up to you. Now, this is typically what I'll make like one version of a photo. I talked to you about Nik software. Were you able to install that?
Yeah. It's installed and ready to go. So show me.
Okay, so what I might do with this image after this, even if I like this, I may keep this as a version, but I may also do a different version of it. So edit in, see under photo here?
Yep.
I've got edit in Analog FX Pro 2 is one of my external editors.
Yep.
So I'll click on that. I'll edit a copy with Lightroom adjustments, so it's going to take my adjustments that I already made. And here you can do all kinds of different things. So this is really a program. Google made it. They bought the Nik team, and then they decided to give it away for free. So it's got a lot of different like film fields. These are almost like filters. So see how this is a totally different look now?
Yeah.
It looks faded out. Or this one here is, much different. There's a lot more yellow in it, and it looks like maybe from film. Or here's again another version that's much more faded. I like this one, number 7, a lot. It just gives it a little bit different coloring.
Yeah.
I don't like the dirt and scratches that they put on it. That's to give it like an old school film look, so I can take those off. And so now I've got this, which is, well, I'll finish up this in a second. So I'll just save this as is. And so it saves a copy. And so now you can see I've got this one version here, the original, and the second version with analog.
Wait, where are they? Where's your mouse?
Here's the original on my screen, and here's the one using analog effects. You may not be able to tell the difference as much over Skype, but there is a difference.
I can tell. I can tell clearly.
Yeah. So now other things you can do, you might want to do, say, like some double exposure work, especially with pictures like this, which could be interesting. So edit in Analog Effects Pro, edit a copy. So this is classic camera, but you can also go over here to, say, like double exposure. Okay, and so now you get this sort of weird overlay of the pictures. This might be something, you're trying to do something much more artistic.
Right.
And this could be where you could have something interesting with the poodles, like if they're running, could be like this sort of, it's almost a zoom effect.
Oh, that's cool.
So there's other tools that do zoom too that I can show you. So, but there's lots of different sort of, color cast, if I want to have some light flares coming in and out, if I want something really faded. But these give you a lot of almost like a more artistic sensibility to the image. And a lot of these looks are really popular with people that are looking at your photos on places like Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that. So this looks kind of interesting to me as well. It's kind of this muted color. So I'm going to save this version as well.
Now, are you actually making 2 full copies of the image?
That's right. So I have 3 versions of this photo. I have my original that I processed. I have the one of the Nick FX, and then I have the second one here, which is really sort of faded and washed out. So I've got sort of 3 different versions using Nick. Now, let me find something that's not maybe in this.
Hey, Matt, do you know if I can take my card out of the back?
Yeah, go for it.
Chloe's sitting in. I'm going to snap a picture of it.
So here's some photos that I haven't even looked at yet. So let's say we're looking at something like this with the sky. Okay, the first thing I'll do even before exposure here is I'll look at the temperature, right? And so temperature is...
Where's temperature? I can't see your mouse. Oh, there it is.
Over here, yeah. So temperature is... This is whether it's going to be like a very cool photograph or a very warm or hot photograph.
Okay.
Cool photographs tend to emphasize the blues more. Hot photographs tend to emphasize the yellows and the oranges more, right? So there's all the way hot, there's all the way cold. Neither one of those would look good, but you can move the temperature to find out, where does that concrete look good? Where does the blue look good? So to me, it looks good right about there. And you can also play around with tint as something else, although, again, it gives you more of a reddish color, more of a greenish color. I don't like either of those. I like it like it is. So again, back to my exposure. Let's take that, move my contrast, and I'll start to do this pretty quickly.
Are you on a boat? Are you on a boat?
I'm on a pier.
Okay.
Pier, at the end of a pier, shooting back out on the ferry building.
All right.
And so I definitely want to punch my colors. I want to punch, particularly with that blue sky. So I'm going to bring up my vibrancy. You see how blue the sky gets there?
Wow.
But that's too blue for me. And also, if you look at the buildings, they're too orange or yellow or sand color. So I'm going to dial that back to where the building looks okay to me, like here. But then I'm going to go down here to the saturation, and I can saturate by color. So I can just take my blues and increase them without increasing the color of everything else. So see how much color more blue the sky is now?
Yeah.
And so then I might go back, bring in some more shadows, some more whites, bring my blacks down a little bit, bring my contrast down a little bit. A lot of these I'm just playing by feel with my overall, bring my blacks down a little bit more, look at temperature, and fine tune it. So I'm trying to fine tune this image to where I want it. I'm going to sharpen it a little bit. I'm going to bring my noise reduction up. I might have a little bit of color noise. It's hard to see, but you can see there's some grain up here. Just some small grain in there. That's because I oversaturated the blue so much. So I'm going to take my color noise and bring it up a little bit. My color noise reduction. And that's going to, it's hard to see, but that's going to diminish that a little bit.
I found a great app that you might like, Thomas. It's enables you to post to Instagram directly from your desktop.
Yeah, I've seen that through Lightroom.
Oh, it's in Lightroom itself?
Well, there's a Lightroom plugin that allows you to do that. I used to use one that was an emulator that would do that as well, to emulate Android, basically.
Yeah, that's what you told me about before. I didn't know. I'd like to know which one in Lightroom that you.
Yeah, there is in Lightroom. I haven't tried it yet, but there is one. So this is an image. This probably looks about good to me now. So again, I might go. So if we look at this image, what I had, before when I started was this, which looks pretty bland, and when I finished, it was this. So you can see it's quite a bit different between before and after.
This is an unusual image. Of all the images I've seen of yours, and I've seen a lot, this doesn't. You're hard to nail a style because you're all over the place. But this doesn't look like anything I've seen of yours.
Color is his style.
What's that?
Color is Thomas's style, in my opinion.
Is it color? Is that how you define Thomas's style?
Some of it might be. Some of it might be. I don't know. For me, I have and also another thing you can do if it's too warm like this, you can bring your yellows down, and that'll also help your greens sometimes over here, like in these trees, were a little bit too green to me. I don't know. I mean, I've shot stuff like this before, I think. But I'm just kind of picking a random picture.
Nothing is coming to my, I know it's art, so, it's completely subjective, but nothing's coming to my focus. It's like a bunch of pictures of buildings that are, my eye doesn't know where to go.
Yeah, yeah.
And that might be where you're going with it, I guess. So.
Yeah, for me, it's just kind of the chaos of all the lines, so we have just disparate lines going everywhere. So, you've got these lines on the ferry building, you've got these vertical lines, you've got these lines, you've got this pyramid thing going on up here. It's kind of just chaos.
Yeah, no, it feels like that. And now would you pick a song that, and title this to go along with that? Is that?
Yeah, a lot of times I do get my titles from song lyrics, from songs or something like that.
I thought they were always. At one point, I thought you
no, not always. But
no, it can't be always.
A fair amount of time I do. But a lot of times I'll have the music also going on, and if there's a line in the music that particularly strikes me.
Oh, as you're editing?
Yeah, as I'm editing, I might simply, that makes sense. And if I do, then I'll go back to the library mode, and I'll type the title in right here. But everything gets titled. Everything gets titled. So back to the develop module. So something like this, again, another thing I might do is I might take it into Prime Styles, which Prime Styles is this site that think I told you about it. I'm actually involved with it. It's a Mac software program. And again, it's got a lot of different filters. And Prime is so now I've got all these different styles. So you can see how different these different filters will look on this one image.
Oh, I like some of these.
Yeah. So you get really washed out, and so there's a ton of different.
Oh, and this is the one you were telling me about that photographers will actually have their own filter and
Right. So
market
photographers
them.
created their own filters, and so again, this is another way. Sometimes, like, I'll look at an image and I'll think, okay, I've done everything that I would do with this image, but are there ways that it could look different and more interesting? And are there other styles that I might apply to it?
So is this layering them on top of your edits, or are you starting over at this point?
No. This is a copy of my file that I edited.
Okay.
And a lot of times what I'll do, I'll end up making 2 different versions of things. So I'll make more than one version. So I can just kind of go through here and say, do I like any of these? Do I not like any of these? Now maybe maybe I end up saying I don't like any of these. I kind of like this actually. But it's doing different things with the blues than I would do. So, I might choose some of these styles, I might not. In this case, I don't see anything I really like, so I'm just going to quit out of it. I might like my original version better. But I could also take it back into Analog FX Pro. Create a copy there. And again, I might look here. Well, do I like this? These styles are going to be a little bit more dramatic, maybe. So I like that a lot. I tend to go to 7 a lot. I like that it's a little bit cooler.
So if I was going to start out with one plugin, would you use this versus the Nick thing or the effects? Or
I would use Nick. Yeah, it also Nick's free. So, which is not that it makes that big of a difference. I mean, Prime's like $20, but Nick is. I think you can do more with Nick.
Okay.
Much more. Prime is a little bit easier in the sense that it just kind of drag and drop.
Right.
You don't have the controls. Whereas, and I can do different things here if I want to do, like let's say I wanted to do bokeh. Let's say I want this. I want the boat in focus, and I want the rest blurry. They've got these different sort of bokeh styles, so I can just take this circle and put it over the boat, and you can see how everything else is out of focus.
Now, can you do that also in the Lightroom?
Not like this. No, you can in Photoshop, but that's just another tool.
Hold on, someone's at my door. Hold on.
Thanks for showing all this stuff. Nothing I can tell you is really enjoying it.
You used Nick before, Matt?
No, not really. I tried it briefly and didn't like it much, but I really seeing what you can do with it. I'm really enjoying it. I think I'll give it a shot sometime.
Yeah, I mean, this is right. It's free.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I kind of forgotten about it until Scott asked me to install it for him, and yeah, it's been cool.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be, I think they were selling it before for like $100 or something, and then all of a sudden they just gave it away.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool that they did that.
Cool.
And we got different black and white versions of things.
It's cool to see Scott grow into all this kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I can tell he's really changed a lot in the last few weeks.
I'm back. Sorry.
Okay,
about
so
that.
here I made also a black and white version of this same image. Although there are some problems with this image, and that is that I have a dirty sensor. And you can really see these spots up here, like in the sky.
Oh, wow.
But this is a pain. You just have to clone them out, like with this clone tool. Click on it, and boom, it's gone.
So how did your sensor get dirty, or how do you clean it?
Because I change lenses all the time without really taking care of my stuff. I mean, I just constantly let dirt into it, and basically that's it. I'm changing lenses.
Oh, I didn't know. Like when I take my lens on and off it, or turn it on, it says cleaning sensor. I'm like, what? How is it doing that?
Yeah, that's part of it. Yeah, it's still you'll get dust in the sensor, so I still, I'll send mine off to the Canon and have them clean it.
Scott, I can walk you through how to clean it yourself if you're interested. It's a bit dangerous, but I do it with mine and I've never had any problems. So careful.
I made a black and white version of that as well. So I got the color and I got black and white, which the black and white focuses more on the architecture and the lines.
Being a symmetry freak, I hate this image.
Yeah,
I just like it.
That's true. It is symmetry. So the other thing you can do, let me find something else. I'll show you something cool to do with people. This may not be the best image to work with, but.
So this time last year you were here. We saw Zuckerberg up at the lodge. Yeah.
I don't have as much imported into this library right now, but
how many different libraries do you have? Do you have?
I keep one. I usually have like one that I'm kind of actively working in, and then I'll take. When I'm done with a stage worth of images, I'll save that catalog. I'll create a library just for that day. And then I keep that catalog file with the images. My situation is probably different than yours.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
I would literally have millions of images inside of Lightroom if I tried to maintain everything in one catalog. And I've actually played around with it before and I've like imported everything in. And Lightroom just goes so slow when you've got a library with millions of images in it. It's just not built for that.
Right. I mean, we have 150,000 now, and Matt and I were talking about, reducing that significantly.
Yeah. So that's, I don't know. So you can, let me find something else here.
Is Julia still in L.A. or?
No, she got back on Thursday, so she's back with the girls, which is nice.
Where was this?
This was a protest down in San Francisco. I'm trying to find an image I can use to do something to show you.
Are you going to Cleveland, by the way, or?
No, they rejected my thing for a press pass. So these are images back from 2011. I've got so much to do. I don't really see a good image I can use for an example of that.
So should I be using this lens cover thing or shade thing?
I don't, but sometimes you'll get some lens flare inside of your image, depending on how the sun hits it. I find that a lot of times I can just block that with my hand by putting my hand out of the frame.
Okay.
But
is there any downside to using it?
No.
I have had it save a lens from me before when it dropped, so it helps increase the contrast too by limiting flare. So I always use it on mine.
Yeah, I mean, there's no downside to using it. I'm just lazy and don't like to move things around a lot.
Yeah.
So here's another image of some cactus that I like. This, I might increase the clarity quite a bit to get more detail out of it, bring the contrast up, definitely bring the highlights down, the shadows up, the whites up, my blacks down, my vibrance, I'm getting more color, sharpen it, little noise reduction. So this is like an image, typical, I might do something like that. And then this image could be interesting to do a double exposure with because it's so chaotic. And so I might bring it into Analog Express and really just create something that's not even really like a photograph. It's more like an abstraction.
Hey, Matt, were you able to identify any images in my library that I have now to do for that photo wall with the poodles, like that one with Susie that I sent?
Yeah, I tagged them all in headshot and poodle. I can bring those up for you whenever you are ready.
Yeah,
I almost had some awesome photos in there too. I think of Susie.
Yeah,
So this is utterly chaotic, which I like. It's complete abstraction.
Wow. Yeah, I like those detailed things that you're not really sure what you're looking at.
Yeah. I mean, that you don't know what you're looking
I
at.
actually like on the right-hand side, that magnifier view of it that you're showing.
Oh, that there, yeah, that looks kind of cool too, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could crop it down and make different versions of it. You might make, a square version. So up here I go 1:1, something like that. Which that might look better than this. So you can do, let's see here.
So simultaneously, I'm going to try to edit something on my end here and see if I can. See if I can find one I like, and then.
Yeah, let's. Why don't we do this if this will work? Why don't you share your screen with me on Skype?
Yeah.
So I'm going to stop sharing mine. Stop sharing screen. Share your screen with me, and let's look at an image that you're doing, and I'll just walk you through what I might do with that image.
Okay. So let me pick one. I like one of these where their tongues are out. Let me find the one that
Yeah, that's very cool.
is the best one. Either that one or that one. This one or that one. Which do you prefer?
What are my choices again?
This one or this one?
Go back to that first one. The one, yeah, that I like that better.
Now, out of curiosity, why?
I see a little bit more detail.
It's closer. They're
Yeah.
closer. Okay. All right.
Feet position's better in this one.
Oh, really? Let me look at that. Now I'm curious why you said that. I just want to. Okay. I mean, I like it because they're closer, I guess, too.
Yeah.
And
I like that. I like that. That might be part of it.
okay, so where would you start? You go to develop mode?
Okay, so the first thing I would do, this is just me. See how you have that overlay up there that has the image title, IMG 477.
Yep.
I just like to clear that out of my
Okay.
picture so I get a more of a pure edit. So if you hit the I key while you're editing, that'll make that go away.
All right.
And hit it again and it'll come back.
All right. Now, does it surprise you that the automatic did this? That this is how it chose to what? This was a pretty fast 7.
Yeah, you can see your settings there. Those settings are great. I mean,
Okay.
I would say, I would like maybe a little. Yeah, I mean, those settings work because with 2 dots, you can't shoot it much lower. then lower apertures because you'll get one of the dogs out of focus.
Yeah, and that's
So-
what happened here, I guess. All right, so now go to develop.
Yeah, so now I'm going to develop.
And I guess I can get rid of this on the side. I don't need to look at.
And so the first thing I would do would be crop. So I go on the crop tool, which is that box.
Okay.
Okay. And then I would look at, where, is your crop constrained? Your crop is unconstrained right now, so I would constrain it to keep that same format.
So is that here? Or?
It's a little lock. If you click on that lock, now that constrains the crop. Now for this here, I would bring the bottom up. I don't think you need so much of that ground, and that plant over on the side is distracting. Yeah, kind of center it. And I'd also bring the top down as well. I would say that's too much on the bottom. I'd give it a little bit more on the bottom. Yeah, something like a little bit less. I'd go up. If it were me, I'd go up a little bit higher, a little bit higher, a little bit higher, lower, maybe a little bit lower. Yeah, right there. And I would, before you do that, up on the right-hand corner, on the top corner, click on the corner and just drag it down just a little bit. A little bit more. A little bit more. Right there, stop.
Okay.
Okay, now hit the enter key. Okay, so that I like. Now I would work with the lighting. So I do your exposure. Now one of the problems here is you've got a lot of detail. That's Susie, right?
Yeah.
On Susie, because of her color,
Right.
right? And that's Rhonda, right?
Yep.
So Rhonda, because she's dark, you can't see as much of her color. You can't see as much of the details, like her eyes and her face and her nose. And that has to do with her color. So first thing I might do is just see what happens if you bring the shadows up. That's going to bring you more detail of Rhonda out. You see how you're seeing a little bit more detail of Rhonda now?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's smart to start there. Yeah.
Okay. So, and then now I might increase the contrast, though, because this looks a little bit washed out through the shadows. Okay, that's maybe a little bit more contrast. Yeah, right there.
Okay.
And then I might also go down to that clarity slider and give a little bit clarity, which is going to give Rhonda's details just a little bit more of a boost. Okay, so now you can, that's probably too much. I'd dial back just a little bit. Okay, that's good. Now from a color perspective, I'd boost up the vibrance a little bit. Maybe a little bit more. Yeah, I think that looks good. And then I would go back up to the temperature and move that temperature slider up and down until you find what you think looks best. Obviously that looks kind of yucky and that's too cool. So just kind of slide it around back and forth. Just kind of just get a feel for it. So you see, well, what looks the best to you in terms of that temperature?
Right about there.
Okay. Now I might just increase the exposure just a little bit more, the main exposure. That's probably, yeah, maybe a little bit down from there, a little bit up, probably right about there. Now I would go back to the crop. They don't feel quite centered to me, and I think this shot looks best when they're centered. So I would click on the crop tool again, and I would drag that right corner, I try to, as much as you can, center it. You can use that box, see that middle box? And try to put that middle box like right between their bodies as centered as it can be. Okay. Yeah, that's about good right there, I think. Now I'd bring it up just a little bit, bring the image up just a little bit less ground. No, other way. Yeah, a little bit less ground, a little bit less ground. Right there. I did that right there. And there again. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Now zoom in on the eyes.
How do I zoom in?
Just click your mouse over it. Just click on the eye. Is it not giving you the magnifying glass? No, click with the mouse. Click with the mouse now. No, it's not. Go over on the left-hand side. I can't see your modules. It's probably the way Skype streaming. Okay, there you go. Now, up at the top there, see where you have a little preview? Hit 4 to 1. Or, I'm sorry, click over the eye with that magnifying glass and then click. No, I mean, actually, you click on the little preview bubble with the magnifying glass over the eye. Okay, click there now. Click.
Hey, Matt, what am I doing wrong?
You know why? Because it's fit 1 to 1. So go up to the top, see where it says 3 to 1? Click on that 3 to 1. Okay, now, okay, so there you go. So now you can see it even sort of more detail. Is it sharp enough? Yeah, it looks sharp enough. It looks pretty good to me. Maybe now go back over to this display over on your left and move that little box around. Now maybe move it over Rhonda's eyes. Okay.
That's a bit out, but that's all right.
Yeah, I mean, the focus is a little bit soft there, but that's okay. I think that's all right. You might take, depending on what it does, now go over back to your tools and click on the far tool. Up at the top, there's a little slider that's like click on that thing. This is a selective brush. And so now, you see how you've got sharpness down there? Take this sharpness dial and move that up to like 80 or something. Okay, now take the brush, now go back over Rhonda's eyes and just click on Rhonda's eyes. Hit Command Z to undo that. Okay, go back and under exposure, just change that to 0 because we don't necessarily want to make it darker. And you can also just click that number and type 0 and it will automatically bump it there if you click on the number. And just type the number 0. Okay, now go back and just click over that eye.
Oh, just right here?
Yeah, just click on it and maybe click on the other eye, do the same thing. We're sharpening it just a little bit there, maybe on the mouth and teeth a little bit. You can also drag that brush around. Sometimes you can get a little bit too much noise or distort things a little bit. But this is just sharpening this area just a little bit because it was a little bit out of focus because she's behind. You don't want to do too much because then it starts to pixelate and then you get artifacting.
Okay.
But I think that looks good. I might click on her tag too.
Okay.
Down there to get that a little bit. Yeah. See how you got a little bit more focus there?
Yeah.
Okay, then I go back to the crop tool. Go back to the box. Okay, hit enter again. I'm sorry, go up to the top and hit fit over on the left in the preview. That's going to put it back in the frame. So there's your image. That looks pretty good to me. You might add just a little bit of vignette. Go down to the bottom where it says camera calibration and expand that.
Effects.
No, it's actually, I'm sorry, it's on effects. Yeah, mine always open, so I don't even use this. Okay, so there's two types of, actually, no, don't use that one. There's two types of vignette. There's one that is called post-crop vignetting, and then there's regular vignetting. I actually like the regular vignetting more because it acts more natural, like vignetting happens in a camera. Post-crop vignetting will vignette everything almost exactly equally. So it'll apply the exact, whereas in a camera, the way vignetting naturally happens, one edge of the picture might get a little bit darker than the other. So you'll see what I mean. Take that highlight priority down at the bottom, the amount on the post-crop vignette, and move that all the way up and all the way down. Go a little higher. See where it says amount under highlight priority, up above a little higher. Yeah, see right below that? No, leave that there. Keep it on highlight priority. Yeah, that slider. Now go all the way on each side just to see what it looks like. Okay, so that's a white vignette. Now go all the way back to the black. Okay, now do you see on this black how like every corner, go all, no, don't, we're not going to use this tool, I'm just going to show you. Go all the way black if you can. Now do you see how like every corner is perfectly symmetrical in terms of the vignette? That's not what happens inside of a camera. So to me, this looks very fake. It looks very imposed on the picture and looks almost cheesy.
Yeah.
So I like to use the different vignette. So go back to this. You can also just type 0 in the box and it'll bring it back to 0. And hit the lens correction tab right above that menu. Open that up. So this is and then hit manual. Okay, so see where it says lens vignetting amount. Now with this lens vignetting, go all the way down and all the way up.
Barely doing anything at all.
Right, and it's really doing anything because we've cropped this image. So if it was on the full image, it would. So what you can do is you can take the midpoint, and you can also increase the midpoint. So increase the midpoint, but first of all, bring the lens vignetting all the way down to black, all the way black. Okay, now take that midpoint and bring that down.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here, so now move that midpoint around. Actually, you can leave the midpoint there, but take the lens vignetting. So here, you want to get, you want maybe just a little bit darker on the edges. That's probably too dark. I'd bring it up a little bit. Yeah, just a touch like that looks good to me.
All right.
Okay. So this looks pretty good. This looks pretty good. I like that. What do you think?
I love it. I mean,
So now
I'm always tempted to do more saturation. We didn't touch the saturation at all, but
you could. But before we do the saturation, go see where it says history over there.
No.
On the left, far left, history.
Over here.
Yep.
Yep. Oh, I see. You can go back to.
So you can go back each step that you've made. So if you don't like something that you've done and you want to restart it, go all the way back, scroll all the way down to the bottom, and then click on import.
Oh wow.
Okay, so that's your original image. Okay, now when we first saw this image, we thought, wow, that's a really great image, right?
Yeah.
Even before you edited it, and it was straight out of the camera like that, it looked good. But now go up to the final image, go back up to your final image, and click on that.
Yeah.
I mean, you see how much better that is?
Yeah, no.
So this is where, the other thing I would say, Scott, with this, a lot of what we're doing here in this developing module, this is your artistic vision. You are the artist. So I kind of walk you through what I might do, although you might want to, like you say, you might want a little bit more saturation. So, you play around with this, and whatever looks best for you, until you get the image where you want it to get. And now you have, I think, a much superior image here than what you originally had.
So remind me of how you got more structure on Rhonda's eyes. You went to this tool here?
Now I went to the far tool, the next one over, and this is an adjustment brush. So this you can just take put a specific part area of your image and say increase the structure or the sharpness or...
Okay.
Sometimes you might want to do...
it's like that dot in that Google Snapseed.
Yeah, exactly. A little bit like that. Yeah.
All right. I get it.
And the only thing is, though, sometimes I don't like that tool because for whatever reason I find that if you go too extreme in certain areas, you start to get a lot of noise and a lot of artifacting.
So, like, if I wanted to have some fun with this and make their tongues alone bump up the saturation, the red in their tongues and her eyes. Let me try to play with that. So I go.
Right. So go down to that. See where it says HSL Color VW.
Yeah.
Open that up.
This right here.
No, lower. I'm sorry. Down. There's a menu, a pull down menu. No, way down in the middle. No, lower. Yeah, right down here. See that right there? Expand that menu item. Okay, now you've got your red, your orange. So now bring red all the way up.
What did that do?
You
Saturated.
I'm sorry. I'm on hue, not saturation. Put that back to 0. Yeah, now click on saturation. I'm sorry. See where it says saturation up above? You've got hue, saturation, luminance. No. Yeah, right in there. Click on saturation instead. Now put the red all the way up. Yeah. So this is your artistic license. I don't think that looks particularly good.
No, I agree. No, that doesn't.
It looks too crazy, but certainly adding a little bit of red to their tongue might improve it.
Now, could you just do the tongue alone?
Yeah, you can with that other brush, with the adjustment brush, and you can increase saturation and then paint the tongue. It might get a little bit noisy. You might get pixelation.
Yeah, I don't mind bumping it up there. It doesn't look unnatural there.
No, yeah, I think my rule of thumb is I do want it to look natural. I don't want it to look processed, so to speak. Unless, again, I'm really going over the top and doing something crazy.
Yeah, to me, this doesn't look so unnatural, but it does, gives
a little pop.
Yeah, just enough to emphasize it. Because what I like about this shot is that their tongues are hanging out as they're running towards me.
And that focuses on the tongue, yeah. Now, something else you can do, there's a software package. Okay, do this. You don't have the software, and you would have to buy it to get it, but I'm going to show you something else too. It's sort of a zoom effect that can be kind of cool with some of this stuff. Okay, so take this file, and I hit Command E.
Let's do it now.
Oops. Oh, shoot. No, I'm sorry. I meant Command Shift E. Go ahead, quit out of Photoshop. Don't save yet. Okay, go back to Lightroom. Okay, hit Command Shift E. Okay, so you're saving a copy of this just like this image is done. So right now, this is where you're exporting. It's going to media or email from Lightroom. Is that where you want to export this file?
We haven't gotten that far yet. Matt?
This is the Facebook text now. It's not actually.
Matt,
actually, see where it says export to specific folder?
Yeah.
Go up there and just change that for right now to desktop. Okay, now go ahead and just hit export. Okay, now go to Skype. That file will be, this picture now will be on your desktop, a copy of it.
Okay.
And send me that file on Skype.
Should be there. Oh, no. Okay, there it is. So, Matt, the next step we have is like how do we get that to Facebook without Facebook overwriting and degrading it so significantly?
I've set up an export for you. I'll show you it right now. So if you go to Library and then Export, and you go to User Presets. Well, I had it in here. I don't know where it went. I'll make a new one real quick. Might have been right when we had to switch the backup analog. That folder works just fine.
I'm trying to find out where this went for me. Reveal and Finder. Huh.
And this is just resizing it for Facebook effectively? It's not changing anything else about it? Or
Correct. Yeah, it's making a copy that's optimized for Facebook. So you hit export, and then it comes in over here, pops up in Finder, and then you can drag and drop this into Facebook.
Okay.
That's optimized for Facebook.
Okay, so okay, so I'm going to share my screen again, and I'm going to show you another software package that's got like kind of an interesting zoom effect. Okay, so you can see my screen now?
No, we can't. Oh, here it's coming.
Okay. So this is another software package. It's called FX Photo Studio Pro. It sounds a little bit like Nick, but it's not. It's so you can see the software package.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is another one. This has a lot of photo effects. So I'm going to take your image that you gave me here, and here, and I'm going to drop it in.
Now you're seeing my edited, yeah.
Correct. So this is your edited image that you finished up, and so you can see these sort of now photo effects starts to get really crazy. Like you would never even want that as a photo. I mean, some of these are overdone, right? They're just too crazy.
Right.
But they do have this kind of cool explosion effect, right? So if you wanted to get,
oh wow,
go right over her face, and I'm going to open the radius up, bring the amount down, and if you wanted, but you see that this would probably look better with one poodle,
right?
But you see how you get almost like,
Well, it's funny, Matt, remember this, because one of the things I have always felt that we should be doing with our brand is to represent speed and motion. And I feel that if all of our lifestyle images had this with models, not poodles, but this sense of blurred images of things moving around you so fast, I think it would benefit our brand mood board, if you will.
Right, but you see how, like in this picture, even this might work okay, even having Rhonda out of focus. But you see how there's this sort of there's like this real clarity. You really get much more of a sense of motion here with the blur.
Yeah.
So. You could bring it into the middle of them, and then bring the radius down. Oops.
Hey Matt, could you find some representation of what I just said and email that to me so I can have that discussion next week with Andrew?
So this just gives you, so that's just one effect that's in this that's in this package.
Now, is that not available through the Nick or Lightroom?
No, Nick doesn't have it that you can pinpoint it like that. I mean, you can also do some really crazy things. Like here we have symmetry vertical. So we have.
You did that with the Polaris in me.
Yeah, I did. I did some of that with the Polaris.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, so I mean, mirror images, or it's just this package. I think this is also like $20. It doesn't cost like anything, but it just these are just other little editors, other little tools, that you can do things with. It's got sometimes you might want just a little bit more of sort of an artistic type version of a photo. You want a couple versions.
This is like Instagram on steroids.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, you can really crazy things with images, mirroring, and obviously a lot of this wouldn't necessarily work. Infrared. So that's just another little tool. Sometimes I'll use that like if we go to some of my images, let me see here. Like that's more of an abstract, but there's some work that I added in that program, and you can do a lot of this in Photoshop as well. Again, here's some motion blur where I'm really sort of focusing on the face there on this hood ornament.
Yeah, I sort of wonder whether, knowing all this is possible, I think I'm going to evolve. I mean, I'm worried that I've got so many historic images to go through. I kind of feel like my path has to be, a little clearer on how I move forward, rather than learning all the different edits. I think that's almost like next year. I think that.
Yeah. What I would do is I would focus on Lightroom for now. Although Nick is pretty cool, and again, here's an image that I edited in Lightroom right there, these train tracks, and then here's the same image that I added that motion effect on. But I would focus on Lightroom and some images and working with those. And the other thing I would say, Scott, for me, and this probably works well for you too. I mean, mentioning pot, I find a lot of times when I get high and edit images, it's a whole different experience. Like you can just get so far into the details and you see the image in different ways. And I'm terrible at like library and keywording and organizational type skills when I'm stoned. But when I'm actually being artistic, when I'm changing the color on an image, when I'm the sharpness, the noise reduction, all that stuff, I find that's a lot of fun. So I would try that both ways too, knowing that you like to get high.
Yeah, no, I think I'm going to enjoy it, especially in this room with a little music. And
exactly. See, some images like these were some like sculptures at a museum.
Oh, wow.
I went totally over the top on this, right? I went, looks, nothing like what it really looked like. And I just I really played with color, and did different versions of this.
Somehow you pull this off, Thomas. Like, I see multiple photo students try to do shit like this with like crazy editing, and somehow you always pull it off. It's awesome.
Yeah, sometimes I go overboard, I think, too. But like a neon sign like this, I might, I totally oversaturated this, and maybe I went overboard on this. But I'll just do, just kind of depends. These are all sort of finished images.
Wow.
This is a double exposure here, so it's kind of a flower. This was the original version.
You like the macro stuff, Scott? Is that something you'd be interested in?
Yeah, I do. I really do.
Yeah, macros.
That's a question for a lens.
Yeah, can we talk about which lens I should buy next?
Yeah, I just sent you a whole list of lenses with different comments on them.
Here, let me forward that to Thomas, and let's go over it together.
I can do that real quick.
And I love these like fisheye. You can start to understand fun stuff.
Holy shit! You gave me a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
Do you want me to forward that to him, or do you got that?
I got it.
So like here's Sun Valley, Scott. Like here's this. Oh no, that's actually Death Valley. I'm sorry.
Big difference.
Yeah.
There's some Sun Valley there.
Yeah, here's some Sun Valley. So again, there I probably increased the blues and a lot of saturations there. Here I would have increased the reds. On the lodge. Here's the sunset. So I really did a lot with saturation and vibrancy and details on these clouds here.
Can I show you some of the recent pictures I have and get just quick comments on,
Yeah.
not extensive, just like, going in the right direction. All right, so this one's done. So how would, can you see my screen?
No.
All right. Can you see it now?
Yes.
All right. So first thing, this one is now done. So what do you do to call it done? Do you like?
I export it as a JPEG.
Okay. Do you also like tag it, like edited?
Yeah, definitely. So where you have keywording over there.
Yeah.
I actually click on that triangle to pull down where it says keep. No, why does mine look different? I'm sorry. Go down to metadata. Expand metadata. This is kind of, I guess. So in expand metadata. So I title everything. So I would make a title for this, and that title will write to the file.
Where's the title?
See where it says title? Title and caption down below.
Go up.
Title right there. And I would title it something, and I mean you can title it whatever you want.
Okay.
I mean it could be as easy as Cynthia Miranda. It could be, poodle. It could be anything. I tend to do song lyrics and stuff, as you know, and try to give it sort of an artistic sensibility. So then click back up on the top where it says DSLR edited hiking. Click in that box, where you. Keywording. A lot of these they'll automatically write it to the file. So if you upload it to Flickr and stuff, it'll automatically populate in the Flickr page.
Okay.
So information will. So go back up there. Yeah, I might keyword this other things as well for search. Like you have DSLR edited hiking. Click in that box to enter a keyword. Or actually, click in the box down below it. Sun Valley, yeah, that's fine. I usually click in the box right above that. That little, right there. That's usually where I type my keywords. Not that it matters all that much. But I might use poodle, comma, dog, comma, Rhonda, comma, Susie, comma.
Oh.
Yeah, sometimes it'll auto-fill in wrong things. So, comma. If you hit delete, it'll get rid of it. Comma. You might do, you got Heike, then enter that. I would also do, because there could be things to search, I would do Idaho. I might do Ketchum. I might do, and then I would even do America, USA.
Now we're going to have to re-export this to the JPEG because the other one we have for didn't include any of this stuff.
Right. Yeah, that other one was just to send to me, so you'll want to delete that from your desktop. So,
all right, so that's good. Do I have GPS on this camera? When I went into the settings, it didn't show that.
I don't think that camera has GPS.
No, but I can show you an app that will allow you to export your GPS tracking from your phone and import it into Lightroom, and it'll geotag all your photos.
For this camera or just
with any photos?
How will it do that? How will it attach that? You'll know where my.
You make sure that your time is set properly to your phone on your camera.
Will you make sure we do that because that's going to be important?
Yeah.
And then Thomas or Matt, when I press P so I can override the flash and only the flash,
right.
and then I click. It doesn't seem like it takes the photo until I click down a second time. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, what that is if you click half of a shutter click.
Yeah.
That's how you focus. You pointed it. You
right.
When
No,
you
I
want to
know
focus
that.
on, you click halfway down, and then when you click all the way down, it takes the picture.
That's not what's happening.
So,
is your card in the camera?
Yeah. It just goes black. It literally, I click one. You almost need the second click to ungo.
Oh, he has mirror lockup on, I bet.
Do you have mirror lockup on?
Do you know how to change that?
I don't shoot Canon anymore.
Let me see. Can you pull up the menu on the back?
Yeah.
And can you show it to me on
I mean, I'm not sure.
I don't know that I'm gonna. I think you have to stop sharing your screen. So, oh wait, I can see it. Okay. Okay, you're gonna have to scroll through some of these different menu items.
Right. So I mean, here, let me. So one is like, I don't know which one it would be. It's like folder, highlight area, enable, control.
You see, let me grab my phone to see if I can see kind of what area. I mean, my camera to see what area it's in.
What's it called? Mirror lockup?
Yeah.
Long exposure, noise reduction, auto. Exposure.
Okay, it's under. Is there a red? There's a red menu.
Yes.
Go under the red menu.
Oh, it's custom function 313.
That doesn't help me.
Let me show me the.
Oh, I got mirror lockup. All right.
Is it on or off?
It's on.
Turn it off.
All right. That's it?
That's right.
Jesus Christ. I've been flipped out on that for a while. Perfect. Jesus.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
So, all right. So I was going to go through and show you just generally.
Yeah, show me some pictures.
Yeah. Share screen. Oh wait, so let me export this for Facebook and
Okay,
Instagram.
before you export it though, after you put that metadata in,
Yeah.
you need to save that to the file. So just hit Command S. Otherwise, it won't save that metadata to the file.
Okay, that's
You can hit Don't Show again, so you don't get that every time when you hit Continue. So it's important after you do that metadata in like that you hit Command S so that you save it to the file.
okay. So when we've been tagging things all along now, Matt,
Yeah, I've been doing that.
what's that?
I've been doing that.
Oh, I did not know that. I have to do that too. I guess.
Yeah.
Can you do that for like 5 pictures at a time?
Yeah.
All right.
And it's select your whole library if you want. It'll take a while. Then.
All right. So do I go export?
Yeah. Command Shift E or export. Yeah, okay.
So first I'll export one to Facebook just to, under these settings, and that you put there under pictures for social media.
Hey, let me drive real quick.
Go ahead.
1 second.
Hi, now why are you resizing your pictures?
To optimize them for Facebook.
Oh, good. Yeah.
See, at one time I didn't, and I uploaded one saying, "Oh wow, look how great I am,"
Right, and Facebook resizes
and
it.
it just fucking blew it out. That shit.
These settings work really well in my experience for Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm thinking more Flickr because that's my library, so I want the original high-res version of it.
Right. So I would like to have a non-Facebook export.
Okay, I can make that real quick if you like.
Yeah, the nice thing with the non-Facebook export, that's your original high-res. For instance, you would want to use the highest res possible for your display, right? For your monitor.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to.
You don't want to. So all you have to do is uncheck that resize to fit.
Okay.
So is that going to export 2 versions now, or?
No, it'll only export what you ask it to. So if you want it to do Facebook, just click on Facebook.
All right, so
Flickr, it's going to put it in a subfolder called Flickr inside your social
all
media.
right, let's export both of those for Facebook and Flickr, and then I want to show Thomas how I bring it to that Instagram.
Okay, you can direct.
Okay, is this Flickr? So I'm going to go to the highest res. I'm curious what it would do. So then I go to services, Then you go share to Instagram to get started. Show me whatever. And now done. So it's resized it, I guess, for square.
Yeah, Instagram's square.
Okay, so done.
Although you don't have to be Instagram's not. You don't have to be square anymore. But
Oh, did that just do it now?
Probably. I'll check your Instagram.
I thought I got to tag it. All right, so let me. That's weird. All right, so let me go back to Lightroom and just generally. So this is all set. You know, I don't know. We pick it, or how do I know that this is like? Will this? Let's make sure. Somehow, Matt, we make sure this gets to my Apple TV.
yeah, so that didn't go to Instagram.
It did not.
No, it didn't go to your Instagram.
I don't think I finished. Okay, so services share to Instagram. So yeah, usually it like gives you some choices before it gets there. Oh, here it is. Okay, so Rhonda. And Susie. All right, so there we go. So now that's shared. I don't know how it's going to like that massive file. It's not that big. All right, so it's been shared.
That's it.
All right, and now if I'm gonna throw it up on.
It's pretty good, actually.
Does it?
Yeah.
So now, why is it not showing the title here for social media?
What do you mean the title?
We just titled it in.
The title is in the metadata. It's not the file name.
Okay, so which?
I prefer if you do not rename your files. That way we can find the original later if you need to for some reason.
So this is the one for Facebook that we did. So that won't show all that stuff we just did for Facebook. Will not. All that title and stuff is not going to show up in Facebook.
No.
Well, that sucks. So.
Yeah, Facebook doesn't take the metadata that you have. Flickr does, but.
So there's no one click to get it from Lightroom to Facebook?
There is, but I prefer to do it this way.
I prefer to do it the way Lightroom works. So I'll tag that on my own, and I'll put that up. But all right, so let me just go to what I just last took, previous import. So this is what I took just today.
Hey, let's get that photo on your Apple TV first here.
Okay.
So go back down to that one where you can click on the bottom there. No. Go back to Lightroom.
All right.
Click on the photo down at the bottom, or I can drive if you want.
Oh, I see.
Okay, now hit 5 to rate it 5 stars. Now go and tag it Apple TV.
Interesting. I don't see it on your Facebook.
I didn't put it up yet.
Oh, you didn't?
Okay, enter. Now go on the left, go down to your publishing services. And Apple TV photos. Now hit publish.
Now that's going to automatically just add that one additional image?
Yes.
And that's
Yeah.
because it's 5-star rated, or what do you have, 4 and 5-star rated photos?
Yeah, I'll show you the criteria here.
And high enough resolution or something?
Yep, so this is taking photos that contain Apple TV keyword. They don't contain private, although the bikini pictures of Laura are marked private.
Good.
They're rated 4 stars or higher, and they're above 1,000 pixels.
Why is it long edge? What's long edge mean?
So if you have like 1,600 by 1,000 pixels, 1,600
Okay, the long
is
edge.
a long edge.
All right. So I'm looking at stuff on my Apple TV. I can't tell if it's that meets that criteria or not because
It all does as of yesterday. I updated it all.
I'm looking at some things that are clearly low res because just so you know, and Thomas might find this somewhat interesting, you have to go here and you go.
Let's just published it to the 8 terabyte folder. We need to change that so it doesn't go there anymore.
Okay. Because the only thing that's going is right here.
Okay, so let me go ahead and change. Wait, that's not as many photos. Did you make a different folder? Was there one?
No.
No. What you have to do sometimes, it doesn't automatically update. It's really lame. So what you have to do is you have to pick a different folder, and then you have to go back and pick the same folder, and then it will have the right numbers.
Okay.
So just like click on like Lightroom.
Matt, you drive.
Let's Thomas's time. I'll make the basement for this.
All right.
What happens, unfortunately, with Apple Photos, because I have the same thing with mine, is if I throw a bunch of new photos in there, they won't show up until I basically unshare that old folder. Because Apple, when you originally just say, I want this folder for my Apple TV, it takes that folder as of that date, and it doesn't auto-update it. You have to actually select a different folder, then go back and click that folder again. It's
Gotcha.
really dumb.
All right, that explains a lot, and that because that's my end goal. Understanding that and documenting that, Matt, is super important.
Yeah, I made a Basecamp for
All
that.
right,
Let's move
thank
on.
you. Is there anything else in that world that the Apple TV sharing world that would be relevant, Thomas, that you can think of?
I don't think so. I mean, that's. I just found that's been my experience at home. I was kind of bummed out because I'm like, I did all these Chicago photos. Why aren't any of them showing up? And then I figured out that I had to actually change the folder to a different folder, then go back and select my original folder.
So if I just want to look at let's look at the DSLR pictures. So if I want to search for DSLR. These are all pictures, I guess.
That you've been tagged with DSLR.
I thought I took more than these, but maybe you rated. These are the only rated ones or the published ones?
No, these are the ones that are published. Let me drive here.
Yeah, go ahead.
You need to go up to all photographs and then do the search DSLR. And now these are 1,411 photos.
Wow, I've been a busy boy. All right, so then if I wanted just to get a general sense on, let's not start at the first pictures I took. Let's go to the last one. So
You can just do your 5-star if you want to look at your best ones first.
These haven't been rated yet, but I mean, I think I'm doing okay. I mean, this bothers me. I'd seen reflections in here. This I'm trying to get a little macro, a little fun. Like these pictures, I really don't like. But I like taking sections of the car.
Sure.
This I would prefer Laura would look at me, but they're cool. This could have been better. I'm struggling with Laura, obviously. So I think I've got a point of view that's developing. Here I hate fucking why she does that. But what I'm thinking, Thomas, just so you know, with Laura, muscularly, if I get her backlit and get a silhouette, I think I can really capture some amazing things from Laura.
Sure.
That might actually work if I crop that. It's the best.
Silhouettes are great. Yeah.
Now,
will Laura just not model for you?
No.
Not at all.
Not if I can build her trust, by showing her some good images on Apple TV. Maybe she's got lines in her face that really bother her. And I've got.
When you start to really get into it, you can change a lot of that too, man.
You already were helping me with the softening stuff, so. So this is just what I shot today. I like some of this landscape. I think even that would look cool.
Great.
And that's easy to shoot. I can always get the dogs to come to me, but I don't know if that. I was hoping to get her in focus, but that.
Right.
And I'm struggling getting sometimes them in focus. I click halfway at,
Yeah,
and then it seems like the sensors reset on their own.
Yeah, I use the back button focus. You can change the focusing so you can have a focus button separate of the shutter button, and then I use the focus squares to just do one, and then it makes it really easy that way.
Will you add that to our list of what we talk about? Like, I like some of these, that kind of, I probably edit that, like, what you're looking at, or, I have more than enough of these pictures of Lauren, but, where I'm far behind. So, so here's some of these silhouettes that I think I could.
Yeah, that's great.
I could capture. I thought I got her when she.
You can make that. Go to develop module for that picture just for a second. Go to develop. Okay, now bring the contrast way up. And then bring the highlights down. And bring the exposure down even. See, we're getting something silhouette-y like that, and then bring the whites up. I bring the shadows up a little bit too.
Yeah, I think I can get her. I can get a lot of pictures of her from behind.
Right, from behind. But you want her in front too.
I do. Once I get good enough at it,
Yeah, silhouettes. Silhouettes are great.
So I just wanted to save this one just so I can move on. I just Command S.
Well, that just saves the metadata. No, this will be saved as is.
Okay.
Actually, I've got them set up on DNG, so if it hits Command S, it'll save it to the original DNG file too.
Okay. Yeah, you can hit Command S too.
Yeah.
Okay, so then if I just go back out to, how do I get to where I start? Where's that grid view?
Go back to library.
Oh, okay. I forgot.
They get a develop module. And then see that grid over in the lower left?
Yeah. So, I'm just learning. I mean, this, like, here,
That's cool.
Yeah, I think I'm going to capture some, and the definition of her arms, the sky above, and, I think I'll find some.
I would try to get her for silhouettes. I mean, if you can get her standing like on top of a mountain against the sky, those are really dramatic. Like if you're climbing to the top of a mountain somewhere and you can shoot over.
Yeah, that's what I tried to do. I wanted her to make some muscles and show me, but.
It would be good if she would pose for you.
She might. She's just, if she sees that, I'm going to respect her image, and that.
Well, just tell her that she gets approval over there. If she doesn't like the image, you'll delete it.
I think the problem is Matt, when she sees all this shit on Apple TV, she has no trust in us yet.
Want me to take out all the Laura pictures?
Well, at some point, yeah. And these are epic, and I shot these last night.
Beautiful.
I mean,
that's beautiful.
And there's obviously no filter. Right? You're seeing just what the camera sees.
Take that into develop module now. That's gorgeous. Okay, now bump up the contrast there. And then take your clarity slider. Bring your clarity slider up. And then bring your blacks down.
Wow.
I'd bring blacks down even more. Yeah, look at that. And then take the whites up. Get even more contrast there.
Wow.
Something like that, even something like that, like I would do different versions of that. Like I'll bring the saturation all the way down to black and white. Bring it all the way. See, I think that looks cool as a black and white too. But now bring saturation back up to normal. So an image like this, which is pretty strong, bring this one into Nick.
Okay.
So go to develop. Yeah, go up there at the top. Go to photo.
Where?
Photo menu. See where it says photo? It's the develop.
Am I an idiot? Oh, I see. No.
Yeah. Right. Edit in. Analog FX Pro. Yeah. Click on that. Edit a copy. Edit.
Hey, Scott, I gotta take off.
All right. Thanks, Matt.
No problem.
Nice to see you, Matt.
You too. I'll ping you, Thomas, closer to that date. Let's see if you're around.
Yeah, let me know. So I like to expand this to the whole screen so I can see the image as much as possible. So just hold down the Option key and click on that little green thing up at the top, the little green bubble. There you go. So now you get the whole thing.
All right.
So now look at some of those different styles. Like look at camera 2, camera 3.
Wow.
See, to me, these are. Try camera 5. I bet camera 5 is going to look amazing on this. Look at that.
Wow.
Maybe a little too much saturation. Now, also with this camera 5, what I would do here is I would take away the vignette. Try taking away so see the vignette check? Because it tends to be a little heavy on the vignette. So click on that check to do away with the vignette. Yes, I like that better. And then also get rid of the dust and scratches because those are going to look fake. See, I think that, don't you think that looks cool?
Yeah, no. So now if I wanted to save.
Hit save, and now it'll save a version of this.
Where is it putting it?
In your Lightroom library. So now it'll take you back to Lightroom, go back to Lightroom, and should be right next to the original file. So see that's the process one. Now click on the one ahead of it. That's the one in Lightroom, and then that's the one you did in Nick.
Oh wow. So this is the Lightroom one?
Yeah.
And that's close to the original one.
That's the Lightroom one, and then that's the Nick one.
Wow. So I mean, I'm out there in bed, and this is what I see, and it's weird, Thomas, when you said we had great sunsets, because our bed is is looking at the mountain, and the sunset's on the roof. So I mean, I don't even watch TV. I just watch the sunset, and
those are pretty cool, man. Those are pretty epic. I was there, and you're like, oh, this is like it's never like this.
Yeah, it's like and I tried to get some birds in, and then there was some. Remember, there's here. Let me show you if I can find it. The people on Nob Hill. Oh yeah. So there's people up on this hill all the time. You see?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to be a busy boy.
Yeah, that's cool. In fact, something like that with those people up there like that, those silhouettes, if you had even more of a zoom.
That's why I want that. I sent you an email. Maybe if you, can you help me pick out a lens now? Or
Yeah, you... for a lens, I mean, the next lens you get, you sent me that email that was Matt's list, right?
Yeah.
Let me take a look here. Okay, here are some great lenses. Okay, so what I would say, yeah, these are all pretty good recommendations.
If I'm going to get one more lens, I mean, I like to be closer and I like to telephoto.
Okay, I would get that 70 to 200, the top one on his list.
All right.
I would get that top one. It's
wow, that's expensive.
It is, yeah. It's $2,000. It is expensive, but it is. This is the lens. I probably shoot more with this lens now than anything.
Really? All right.
Yeah,
and
but it's big. It's a big fucking lens. You need to be warned. It's heavy.
I'll do it if it's going to get better pictures and better Vlora. So
it will. You In fact, here it's on my camera right now.
I can see it.
You see it on mine?
Wow, that is big. It's twice as big as
that is.
Yeah, it's twice as big as what I got.
Right.
So when would I use that versus the one I just got, the 24 to 150?
Well, the 24-150, if you're like at your house and you're closer to somebody, and a lens like this, 70-200, is never going to work because it's 70 is too close. You want to be able to get in close at, say, 24, 50, or wherever the zoom
So
gets.
this is hiking with Laura anytime I'm out of the house.
But also bear in mind, this is going to give you a workout hiking with Laura because this thing is like...
Good, I need one.
I don't know how much it weighs. Does it say there? This thing's like a 7-pound dumbbell in your hand the entire time.
Would you get the used one or the new one? It's not that much of a savings. It's really held its value.
I buy everything new. I don't want to. One, I want the warranty that comes with it, and two, I just don't want to screw around with. It's not worth it for me if something's wrong with the lens or somehow it's broken or having to hassle with that. So I always buy them new.
Right. Do you don't get the accident protection plan or?
I don't.
Yeah, I don't typically. Would you get any of these filters with it or?
No. I don't like filters at all. The only time I would use a filter is if I was doing something really specialized, like a long exposure shot during the day. I'm trying to get like water that looks like glass and stuff.
Right, I'm not going to be able to justify any more purchases with Laura until the business.
No, that's the hard thing, Scott, man. This is like going down this DSLR, man. You could go so far down this rabbit hole. Believe me, I've probably spent, I don't know, $20,000 a year.
You get a lot of stuff comped though, or no, or
well, Canon's paid me money before, but they haven't actually called me. They just give me money for working on something like that.
Oh, really? I'm surprised they wouldn't give you, equipment.
These big companies, they just don't get it. They just, they're not there. And but the other thing is, for me, I justify it all because one, obviously, photography is not my primary business. But I made so much money on it that's more than made the equipment, right?
Right.
So